Congress President spoke passionately and feelingly about our idea of India. I think it's worth repeating it again and again and again. Our idea of India stems from an acknowledgement that while we may have won political freedom, there are many, many more freedoms that have to be won. We have to win economic freedom for all our people. We have to win social justice for all our people. We must win the freedom from hunger, freedom from poverty, freedom from illiteracy, and many, many other freedoms have to be won. Our idea of India is that we will build a liberal and democratic society. Our idea of India is that everyone is equal, regardless of his religion, regardless of his race, regardless of his caste. Everyone is equal, and everyone is entitled to the equal protection of the laws. Our idea of India is not that we will grow, and that growth is not only for the sake of growth, that growth leads to inclusive development. And our idea of India is that every man and woman in this country gets social justice. And that means religious freedom, gender justice, and no discrimination whatsoever. Our idea of India is that any government, the state, and every organ of government must lean in favor of the poor, the weak, and the deprived. They require government. They require governance. They require the hand of the state. And these include scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, other backward classes, minorities, and the disabled people. And finally, our idea of India is that our work will not be complete in 5 years. It will not be complete in 10 years. It may not be completed in the lifetime of anyone gathered here. That political life and political leadership is a never-ending saga of struggle and sacrifice. That is our idea of India. The resolution that was moved by my distinguished colleague, Shri Ghulam Nabi Azad, captures that idea of India and what we have done in the last 10 years to translate our idea of India into reality. I urge you to read every paragraph of that resolution carefully, be it in English or Hindi, but please read it. Every sentence is pregnant with meaning. Every sentence is important, and every sentence underlines our idea of India. Looking back over the last 10 years, we have a proud record. And I ask you respectfully, defend this record. Tell me any other period of 10 years in the history of this country when we witnessed such tremendous growth and such all-round development. I challenge any political party in this country to point to any period of any government anywhere in India which has delivered such a record of growth and development. When did we achieve the best growth rate? It was 9.6% in 2006-07. When did we achieve the best savings rate? It was 36.8% in 2007-08. When did we achieve the best investment rate? It was 38.1% in 2007-08. And when did we add a huge amount of money to our reserves? It was $92 billion in 2007-08. No other government, no other period has witnessed these impressive developments. And when I talk about growth, Please understand that I talk about growth that translates to inclusive development. I talk about growth that translates to more than inclusive development, it translates to social justice. Let me give you a few examples. 10 years ago, the installed power capacity of India was 1,12,000 megawatts. Today, it is 2,11,000 megawatts. That is growth. But when this capacity is installed in Arunachal Pradesh, this capacity is installed in Jharkhand, this capacity is installed in the far-flung corners of India, that is inclusive development. 10 years ago, we produced 213 million tons of food grain. Today, we produce 259 million tons of food grain. That is growth. It becomes inclusive when you will find that for 610 rupees a quintal as the MSP of wheat, today we give 1,350 rupees per quintal of wheat. That is inclusive development. 10 years ago, our public sector banks had 46,769 branches. Today, we have 74,405 branches. More branches is growth, but more branches in Manipur, more branches in Andaman Nicobar, more branches in Rajasthan, more branches in Jammu and Kashmir. That is inclusive development. 10 years ago, we gave out a few thousand education loans. The total amount 10 years ago as education loans was 4,500 crore. Today, as I stand before you, the outstanding amount for education loans is 57,000 crore. And that, most of those loans have gone to scheduled caste, to scheduled tribes, the minorities, and above all, to women, the girl child. More loans is growth, but more loans to the poor, more loans to the first generation learner, more loans to the girl child is inclusive development and social justice. 10 years ago, women self-help groups received 3,500 crore rupees as loans. On that day, the outstanding loans was rupees 3,500 crore. Today, the women self-help group movement has received 32,840 crore rupees as loans to women self-help groups. That is not growth, that is inclusive development, that is social justice. 10 years ago, the minorities had 14,15,000 accounts in 121 districts of India where there's a concentration of minorities. Just 14,15,000 bank accounts. Today, in these 121 districts, they have 43,52,000 accounts. This is in 121 districts of India. That is social justice. 10 years ago, in these bank accounts, loans for 4,000 crore rupees had been given. Today, we give to the minorities 66,500 crore rupees of loans. That is social justice. Let me give you just two more examples. 10 years ago, our expenditure on health was 7,500 crore. Today, we spend 32,745 crore rupees on health. 10 years ago, and Congress President alluded to this, only 1,04,288 kilometers of rural roads was in India. Today, we have 3,96,361 kilometers of roads. More roads is growth, but more roads in Chhattisgarh, more roads in Meghalaya, more roads in Jammu and Kashmir. That is inclusive development. And when these roads connect hamlets occupied by the scheduled castes or the scheduled tribes. That is social justice.